Hello everyone. Today we will going to discuss about spiral model. So first of all, what is spiral model? Basically, the spiral model combines the idea of iterative development with the systematic control aspects of the waterfall model. Basically, the spiral model is based on the evolutionary approach. Okay, and it is proposed by Bohem. This model attempts to use the linear sequential step-by procedure of linear sequential model, and also it incorporates the prototyping whenever needed. Okay, here the evolutionary software process model that couples the iterative nature of prototyping with the controlled and systematic aspects. It provides the potential for rapid development of incremental version of the software, and it allows the incremental releases of the product or incremental refinement through each iteration around the spiral. Means the model is represented in the form of spirals where each spiral is connected to another spiral to represent the various phases, and additionally each iteration in the spiral shows a phase of the software process. Okay, using this spiral model, the software is developed in a series of incremental releases, and during later iterations, increasingly more complete version of the engineered system are also produced. Okay, now the main important point actually of spiral model is that the SDLC model, which provides support of risk handling, this is only done in spiral model. And in the diagrammatical representation, it look like a spiral with many loops, and the exact number of loops of the spiral is unknown and can vary from project to project. You have to remember this point here, that each loop of the spiral is called a phase of the software development process. Here are the loops which using in spiral models are product concepts, product development, product testing, and product maintenance. You can see this thing in our diagram, like you can see this first one is product maintenance phase, which is this outer portion, and this is the product enhancement project phase. This is looks like here, and then new product development phase, this is located here, and finally the concept development project, which is shows internally into this diagram. Okay, now moving back, the first one is a product concept phase. Basically the product concept phase is used, and it does the feasibility study and produces the product specification. Okay, next one is the product development. This phase basically develop the software according to the mentioned specification, and the product testing include the testing of the product, and finally the product maintenance, the product where the changes can be done in the controlled manner. Basically the looping of a spiral model is begins at the center of the spiral in the clockwise direction. That's why the innermost loop represent the system concepts, and then next loop represent the development loop, and so on. So these loops play a very important role in a spiral model. And remember that the development team in spiral SDLC model start with a small set of requirement and goes through the each development phase for those set of requirement, and then the software engineering team adds functionality for the additional requirement in every increasing spiral until the application is ready for the product phase. Okay, now moving ahead, These are the task reason of a spiral model, and you can see these task reason in diagram. Like here you can see that this is the spiral model diagram, and the task reason which is divided into customer communication, planning, risk analysis, engineering, construction and release, and customer evolution. Okay, so these task reason is do the following functions. Like the first one is a customer communication. In this task reason, the task required to establish effective communication between developer and customer. Means here to include some crucial points like scheduling, costing, resources, quality and configuration management, and risk to follow the aim and requirement mentioned by the customer. Okay, and in this phase, it also involved understanding the system requirement for continuous communication between the system analyst and customer. Okay, now the third one is the risk analysis phase. Basically, the tasks required to assess both technical and management risk are yeah, used in tasks in this task reason. It is the most important reason of this model actually, and a risk analyst is chosen to handle all the risk which raise at any time. Okay, so he has to manage both technical and managerial risk, and it also identify the potential risk is done while risk mitigation strategy is planned and finalized. And during this second quadrant, all the possible solutions are evaluated to select the best possible solution. Obviously the risk associated with this solution is identified, and also it is resolved using the best possible strategy. So at the end of this quadrant, prototype is built for the best possible solution. Okay, for example, if there is a risk that the requirement are inappropriate, then we can develop a particular prototype model of the particular requirement. Okay, next one is the engineering phase. In this phase, the task required to build one or more representation of the application. Means in this reason, we use when one or more representation are built of the software, and we have to identify the best one among the all. Okay, now the the next phase is constructions and delivery. In this task reason, the task required to construct, test, install, and provide user support in the form of documentation and training. This task reason is required to construct this type of requirement on the basis of user support. Okay, like in this phase we also develop the next version of the product. Like during this task reason, we identify the features are developed and verified through testing or not. At the end of this reason, the next version of the software is available. Okay, finally the next phase is customer evolution. uh, in this task reason, it required to obtain customer feedback which is based on evolution of the software representation and created during the engineering stage and implemented during the installation stage. Finally, in the customer will evaluate the product and checks its various steps and then may give its feedback to the developer. The customer evaluate the product, and then the next phase is started. And the diagrammatical representation of these task reason and the loops of spiral model are represented here. Uh, After the discussion of each reason, you have to keep in mind that the most important point of spiral model is that the model includes a very important phase of risk analysis. Okay, and any raised risk should be handled regularly, time to time. uh, some risk resolutions are easier done by developing a prototype, and the spiral model supports coping up with risk by providing the scope to build a prototype at every phase of this software development. Okay. For example, if we need much human resources and in between the project development some staff members leave the project, then the human resources risk will become very high and it must be handled immediately by the risk analyst. Okay. And some other type of risk is also analyzed in this phase, like during a long development the user requirements are neglected sometime, and a completion has come up with the same project. The modules are not completed within the specified time. Sometimes software perform very slow function, and sometimes software needs so much memory, and the risk of new software development books become unavailable, and sometimes user requirements were misunderstood, and sometimes the user changes one of the requirement. So these types of risk is always analyzed in the modeling of this particular spiral model, and we have to always find out the solution and apply these analysis procedure time to time so that we can easily identify all the risk involved in the project. And risk minimization is very important project management activity here. Okay. Now the next phase is when to use a spiral model. There are lots of thing where we need and where we understand that why we use spiral methodology, like when the project is very large, when releases are required to be very frequent, when creation of a prototype is applicable, when risk and cost evaluation is important, and for medium to high risk project there is also need of a spiral model, and when requirements are unclear and complex, when changes may require at any time, and when long term project commitment is not feasible due to the changes in economic priorities. So these are the points on which on the basis of which we can say that spiral model is very important in some specific aspects, and we have to use this project in the case of if the project is large, and if the highly risk associated project, so we need to use this project. Okay. Now here are some applications of a spiral model, like it is used, and the first application is when there is a budget constraint and risk evolution is important. Budget is very important factor in creation of any model. So especially in the case of a spiral model we have to identify the specific constraints involved in the budget so that we can use this model. And for medium to high risk project, as I already told you in my previous slide, in this slide, for highly riskable project spiral model is also preferable. And next one is long term project commitment because of the potential changes to economic priorities as the requirement changes with time. Obviously customer is not satisfied all the time, and the requirement in the context of customer or user always available in the phase of changes. So in that type of projects we need spiral model. Next, customer is not sure of their requirement, which is usually the case. Okay. And next application is requirements are complex and need evolution to get clarity. Now the next is advantages of spiral model. Advantages of spiral model, in which the first one is a risk handling. As we already talked so much about risk handling phase of a spiral model, so obviously this is the most important feature of a spiral model. The project with many unknown risks that occur as the development proceeds. In this case, spiral model is the best development model to follow due to the risk analysis and risk handling at every phase. Okay. Now the second one is good for large project. This is good for large project, as I already discussed in the application phase of spiral model. It is recommended to use the spiral model in large and complex project always. Okay. Next one is flexibility in requirements. Changes request in the requirements at later phase can be inappropriated, and it can be incorporated accurately by using this model. Okay. Next one is customer satisfaction. Customer can see the development of the product at the early phase of the software development, and thus they habituated with the system by using it before completion of the total product. And uh, on the basis of these advantages, some other type of sub advantages also included by using spiral model, like the software development indicate that the software remains active till it is retired, means always active mode is available in the case of spiral model. And if the process is going to be old and require some type of changes, then maintenance or some enhancement can be done in the project. So this becomes the advantage for spiral model all time. And as well as it is the realistic approach to be used, and the main and most important feature of this model is again the risk analysis. Prototyping can be used as risk reduction mechanism. Okay. Now moving ahead with disadvantages. Here the main disadvantage including in this model is, the first one is complex. Basically the spiral model is much more complex than other SDLC model. This is very expensive, which is not suitable for small projects, and too much dependable on risk analysis. The successful completion of the project is very much dependent on risk analysis. Without very highly expected expertise, it is going to be a failure to develop a project using this model. Okay. And difficulty in time management. This disadvantage means that the number of phases unknown here at the starting of the project, so the time estimation is very difficult to identify. And as well as the this model cannot be used so frequently, so the result are not available soon, so it create a slow speed. And it is very difficult to implement because it requires so much effort for implementation. Now the next one is the win-win spiral model. Basically this model is the another form of spiral model. In this model particularly, the objective of this activity is to elicit a project requirement from the customer. Okay. Win-win spiral model is basically an advancement of spiral model, and there is basically a simple communication between the customer and the developer. They just need to discuss the problem to be solved with each other, and there is no dealing between them, but practically it does not happen. Okay. And here the customer and the developer enter into a process of negotiation. Okay. Where the customer may be asked to balance functionality, performance, and other product or system characteristics against cost and time to market. uh, Here I have to mention that in an ideal context, the developer simply asks the customer what is required, and customer provides sufficient detail to proceed. But unfortunately, this rarely happens. Uh, the best negotiation strive for a win-win result, that is the customer wins by the getting the system or product that satisfy the majority of the customer needs, and the developer wins by working to realistic and achievable budgets and deadlines. Okay, this is the pictorial representation of a win-win spiral model. Here you can see that some phases like identify next level stakeholders, identify stakeholders win conditions, reconcile with conditions, then establish next level objective constraints and alternatives. Then in fourth phase, it evaluate process and product alternatives and risk, resolve risk. Then define next level of product and process including partitions, and then validate product and process definition, and finally it review and comment. Basically, Bohem win-win spiral model define a set of negotiation activities at the beginning of each pass around the spiral, rather than a single customer communication activities followed. It identify of the system subsystem key stakeholders, and determination of the stakeholder win condition also identified, and also the negotiation of the stakeholder win condition to reconcile them into a set of win-win conditions for all concerns. Okay, uh, we can say that after successful completion of these initial steps, okay, we achieves a win-win result which becomes the key criteria for proceeding to software and system definition. And also here, in addition to the emphasis placed on early negotiation, the win-win spiral model introduces three process milestones which is called anchor point. Okay, and these anchor point help to establish the completion of one cycle around the spiral. Okay, around this spiral, and provide decision milestone before the software project proceeds. Now, the anchor point represent three different views of progress as the project traverses the spiral. The first point shows the life cycle objective that define a set of objective for each major software engineering activity. The second anchor point shows the life cycle architecture, which establishes an objective that must be met as system and software architecture is defined. Okay, and finally the operational capability, which is the third anchor point, and it represents a set of objective associated with the preparation of the software for reinstallation, distribution, and site preparation prior to installation, and assistance required by all parties that will use or support the software. So in this way, the win-win spiral model work into these spirals, and follow these steps, these phases one by one for doing this task. Thank you so much to all of you. And these are the reference used.